Hi guys, my name is Swapnil Mistry and currently I work as a software engineer at Simpress. I have done my bachelor's in information technology and I have been graduated recently in the year 2019. And in this session, we'll be taking a look at the topic called as React, what actually React is and why should you learn React, right? And with this, let's just get started with the presentation. We'll be just taking a look at the context of this session, like what we'll be taking a look in this session. So the very first thing will be, to just give you the starting point of this tutorial. We will be overviewing the specific things like the fundamentals of React, like the components in React, the states in React, and the props in React. Apart from that, we'll be building a simple React app. Now, you need to keep in mind that while I'm saying that we'll be building a simple React app, I will be just showing you the basics of props, the states, and with this, we'll be just creating a sample to-do list. And in this to-do list, we won't be having multiple features, so we'll be just having the input text and a button. And once you click on that button, we'll be just adding the to-dos to the list and just rendering out on this one, right? So we don't have much more functionalities in this to-do, because this is really a basic session, and the main aim of this session is to just give you the starting point that why you should start here, right? Apart from that, we'll be just taking a look at these sessions, we'll be taking a look at this setup, like what do you need for this session and what do you need to get started with React. But before that, let's just take a look, at this diagram, like the main answer to the question, why should we learn React? So over here, you can see that the growth of React has been significantly increased over the past 2 years, like until December 2019. So basically the chart is nothing but the comparison of different frameworks and libraries available in the market along with React, which can help for building front-end application using reusable components. So if you take a look over here, the blue line represents the React, the orange one represents the Vue, and the green one represents the Angular. And if you take a look at the graph, there has been significant increase in the downloads of the React compared to the one which has been in the green and the orange. That is nothing but the Angular and the Vue. So basically Angular and Vue are at the same standards, but the React is just reaching the heights of this graph. So I think that's one of the key points to answer the question that why should we learn React in 2020. Yeah, so jumping back to the presentation, we'll be taking a look at this setup section, like what is being needed to get started. The very first thing which you need to do is you need to install Node on your system. So you can just head over to this link, nodejs.org, and the downloads. And here we are here with the Node's official download page. So you can just go ahead and download the Node version as per your requirements. Like if you're working on Windows, you can just go and install things for Windows. If you're on Mac OS, and you can just go ahead and download it for the Mac OS, right? Apart from that, we'll be also taking a look at the other setup required, like this is basically a code editor. So I personally use Visual Studio for writing codes over here. This is not a mandatory. Again, you can use different code editors available in the market, like the Sublime Text, or Atom. And again, you can just go ahead and download this as per your requirements. Jumping back to the presentation, we'll be just taking a look like what actually React is. So what actually a React is, just give a brief idea and the definition of React. Like React is a declarative, efficient, and flexible JavaScript library for building user interfaces. So React is specifically worked at the front end. So if you want to build any of the websites, you can just go ahead and use React. Apart from that, what are the pros of React? Like, so what does it do is it lets you compose complex UI into small and isolated pieces of code, which are called as components. And we'll be also just taking a look at the things like what are components, what are props, what are states, and all those things. Right. Again, to make sure, this is just a basic session. Like we won't be covering most of the things available in the React, but just it will be a starting point to get started with it. Right. Now let's just take a look at the basic functional component in React. So you can see that this is nothing but a small function, and inside this function we are returning a specific HTML text. So this is how a specific React component look like. You can just provide a function with the function name, and then inside this we are returning this simple HTML with this specific things. Like this is just but a list of the items, right? And then we need to make sure the other thing is that the function is also accepting something called as props. We'll be also taking a look at these props in this session later, but the one thing to keep in mind is nothing but the props are something which you get from different files. So let's say you are having a parent component, and inside this parent component you are having a child component, and let's say you are having a state or the variables which you want to use in the child component, but those states and values are available in the parent component, right? So how can you use that? So you can just pass on to the child component using props. So that's where the props comes into picture. So in this case, if you take a look over here, we are using something called as props.number, right? So the props.number will be available in the parent component. That is the variable number or the state number will be available in the parent component, and you are passing down to the child component over here as a props, right? Now, in order to get the detailed overview of React, you can just go ahead and visit this website specifically. Like this is the official page for React, like built by Facebook. This will give you all the things over here to get started with it, like what are the specific resources, the example, advanced concepts. You can just browse with documentation, you can just browse to the tutorials and all those kind of stuff, right? Let me just close out these few tabs. Yeah, so jumping back to the presentation, uh, this is something, a basic example of how a React app might look like. Like this is just a simple YouTube search app. So the things used over here were nothing but a YouTube API to get results from this specific search. But the main thing over here you need to keep in mind is that we just see lots of components over here, right? So as specified earlier in the definition that, React lets you break down the complex UI into small pieces called as components, right? So in this case, we have multiple components available here. So each component will be responsible for performing certain actions, like whether it's static or whether it's dynamic, right? So in this case, you can see that we are having a navbar component on the top. This is just nothing but the navbar, like other websites have, like the home page, about us page, and all those, like the navbar in the websites. So it's just the navbar component used for displaying the static data, like the background in red and the text called as YouTube search app, like the logo kind of stuff. Apart from that, we have another component which is called as the search bar component, right? In React, this is responsible for searching the items, and similarly we have other two components like the video list component. So whatever you search in the search bar, and the results will be rendered in the video list component. And apart from that, when you just click on any of these videos available in the list, the video should play over here. So video player component will be responsible for playing that specific video. Now the main thing comes over here, like just give you a brief idea of what actually components are in React, but how can you set up your project, right? So you can just go on to your specific directory you want, open your command prompt, and just type npx create React app and your project name, right? But before that, as I specified earlier, we need to install Node on our system. So once the Node is installed, how can you verify that the Node has been successfully installed on your system? So you can just go ahead and type this command, like node-v, and this will just give you the detail about the version of the Node installed on your system. In this case, mine is 8.11.1. Your might vary depending upon the latest stable release and so on, right? And once this is done, you can just write npx create React app and your app name. Now in this case, the app name can be the name of the app you want. Like I'm not just going through all these things, but we'll be taking a look at the structure later on, and we will be taking a look at this later, like what is the use of npm start, right? And so let's just get started with the basic structure. Like this is the basic structure. As I said earlier, that this is nothing but a simple functional component. So this is the functional component app, and you can see that we are just returning the hello and starting some text over here. So you can see the same over here, right? And in this case, as I specified earlier, we'll be just taking a look at the states and props over here. So we'll be just having a sample input. We'll be having a button, and on click we're going to just render all the tools. But before starting on with that, I would like to just show you a small, a snippet like why React is much faster than the other traditional JavaScript libraries or frameworks available in the market. So the very first thing you can see over here is that there are two representations of the browser DOM, because each and every HTML which you write gets rendered inside the DOM. So the very first thing we have is nothing but a virtual, and the second thing which we have is nothing but the browser DOM. Now, what React actually does is, and yeah, so just to keep in mind, the circles over here are nothing but the components of your specific application, right? And in this case, if you take a look over here, the red one is nothing but one of the component which is being changed over time. So what React actually does, it is just identifies the components which are being changed, and depending upon that, React just renders this component. So instead of rendering the entire website, what React does is it just renders the specific component. So in this case, if you take a look over here, the one marked in red are being changed, right? So these two nodes are being changed, and instead of changing the entire structure, these two components just gets changed over here. That is the one marked in red, and that's what you see on your browser DOM, right? So yeah, so let's just get started with the specific things over here, like what's the state and what's the props. So the very specific thing required over here is nothing but the structure. So before starting, actually I should just traverse through the structure. So I remember quite time back in the PPT I said you that you need to run npx create react app and your app name. So what this will be doing is this will be just creating a specific structure for the app, and this is how the structure will be looking like. So in this case, you will be having bunch of directories created by that specific command and by a app name. So in this case, mine was to-do list, and inside this to-do list, you are having all this directory. Now we will be just taking a look at the agenda, like why these directories are used and what's the use of this directory in your application. So the very first directory is nothing but the node module. So in these directories, you will be seeing all the libraries which you install for this specific project. So all the libraries which you installed will be present inside this node modules. The second thing is nothing but the public folder. So this folder usually just consists of all the static data. Like if you want uh, some icons, some pictures on your website, you can just add them in the public folder. And inside this public folder, we have something called as index.html, right? So this is one of the main files which is present over here. And this is the file which you see on your browser. So if I go over here, this is the simple to-do list. And if you just take a look at the browser and the elements, you can see that the title is nothing but the React app. And inside this body, we are having a div which is called as root. And inside this root, we have all these things rendered. And that's what you see over here, right? So inside index.html, we are having a specific ID root, and whatever contents you write will be rendered inside this root. So the one thing to know is that how does this root get populated, right? So for this, we have another file inside source called as index.js. So what this does is it just gets the specific element by ID, right? So you see that we are getting the specific element by ID called as root, and we are rendering the app inside this root. Right? And what's actually an app? So app is nothing but a component which has been created over here. So if you just go ahead and check out the DOM, you can see that you are having an ID called as root, right? And inside this root, we are having app being rendered. So this is basically an app. So this is how things get rendered in React. So this is basically a source folder where you will be having all your files and components present in it. Apart from that, you have something called as gitignore. Now, this is something specifically related to your GitLab accounts or GitHub accounts. So we don't need to, kind of touch this files right now because that is not the context which we will be covering in this session. Apart from that, we have something called as package.json. So this is the very important file required for your project. So it helps to start your project. It helps to build your project. So once you have completed your project and once you want to push the specific project to the specific website, right? You need to host the website. So by running this command, this will create an optimized production build for your specific project which you have created, and the same thing can be hosted on the site over there. Apart from that, we have just couple of other commands for testing the specific app and so on. The one thing you need to keep in mind over here is that this file is solely responsible for running your project. So if you accidentally delete your file, like that is, if you delete package.json, you won't be able to run the project over here. And package.json actually has lots of more stuff like the dependencies. Now, whatever you installed, as I specified earlier, whatever libraries which you install will be seen inside node modules, but at the same time it will be also added over here. So by default we have dependencies called as React, React and all those stuff installed, right? So let's say that's a library called as UUID, just a random name, right? So whenever you click on npm install UUID, the same library should be added over here with the specific version name, and the same thing will be seen inside node modules. And apart from that, we just have the name and version of the project which we have created. So in this case, mine was to-do list, and the version of the project which has been created. And once everything is done, and once you click on npm start in the specific directory, your server gets started and you must see your website on the browser, right? So in this case, this is the to-do list. So I just typed npm start, and you can see things over here. So the to-do list is over here, right? So this is giving you a basic context of the structure of the React app. And now we'll be just taking a look how can we just use the states and props to create a simple to-do list, right? So we have removed all this stuff over the very first thing which we need over here is nothing but an input tab, and the type is going to be nothing but a text. So you can see a input field over here, and the other thing which we need is nothing but a button, right? So we will be adding a button over here, and just name it as add to, right? So just add to, and we have a button over here itself. Now the very first thing we need to keep in mind is that we will have to create a state over here. So how can we create a state? We can just type const to-dos and set to-dos. So set. So this way is nothing but how you create a state. And in order to keep in mind what actually state does, it's let's say if you are having a specific application and if you are fetching a data from the backend service, and initially you don't have any data, and when the data is written from the server, you need to render things on your browser or a specific page. So in this case, states comes into picture, right? So in this case, you can hold this is nothing but a variable which holds the value specified inside the state, and state can, like this set to-dos, can be used for changing the values present inside the to-dos, right? So in this case, let's just start with specifying some static values, and then later we'll just populate it with the dynamic values. So that is when we click on add to do, things should get populated below, right? And what do we need next? Like we have a button, and we need to just map through the items. So we will just mapping through the items to-dos.map, and we will just map the specific item with that index, right? And what do we need? We need just also every items need a unique key. Inside this we'll be just rented a list, like the order list, to render an item. In this case, you can see that the items have been rendered over here, but still we haven't updated the list, right? Because if we click on to do, we need something to do, right? So in this case, we are going to just use the basic HTML attributes and JavaScript functions like on change. So on change, something should happen, right? So in this case, on change, I want to just see whether the things are getting rendered properly or not, or the value which I'm specifying is getting set or not. So in this case, we will be use the event dot, and we'll be passing an event over here, right? So in this case, what really will happen is that whenever I start typing something over here, you should see on your console, right? So let's say if I start this is test, so you can see that the same thing has been printed over here, right? So what we can do is we can just keep another state over here for just holding the text. So whenever I just start writing something, I want the text to be stored somewhere, right? So in this case, I will be creating another state. So initially it will be empty, but once I start writing something, I need to set that specific state to the value which I'm typing, right? So I can just set text to that specific value, right? So in this case, the text will be set over here, okay? And in this case, oh, it's not state, it's state, okay? So this is going to be one thing. And again, we see that the to-do list are ended over here. And the last thing which we need to do is, once the button is clicked, what we need to do is once the button is clicked, we need to just add the new to-do to the list, right? So in this case, I will be creating a new function which is called as add to-do, and still the function is not been created, and that's the reason we are getting the error. So let's just create a function called as add to-do. And what we need to do is we need to just add the to-do, right? So remember, the to-do is nothing but an array over here. So we need to just change the state over here, right? So we can, what we can do is we can use set to-dos, right? And the yes to-dos, and we are going to just return it, right? So what we need to do is we need all the to-dos present in the state earlier, as well as we need to add a new to-do, right? So we are going to add the new to-do over here. So I think that's it. If I try to just type another value over here, type to-do 4, and click on enter, you see that the to-do 4 is present over here. Again, to-do 5, so to-do 5 is present over here, right? And so on. So you can just keep on using this, right? And if you just want to take a look at this to-do list, which has been built earlier, so this is quite something similar, just had some additional things, like if I try to add to-do 1, to-do 2, to-do 3, so things get populated over here, and once you click on completed to-do gets disappear. Or apart from that, you can build something more interesting, like if you want a specific user interface, you can just build something more specifically like this. Like in this case, we have a delete button and we have a checkbox where you can specifically check the specific to-do. Like once if it's done, you can just check it or delete it, right? So you can use any of the specific things, right? And I think that's all with this session, like giving you a basic idea, like all the links and all the things I'll be just pinging to the respective authorities, and you can just contact the department to get all these codes and the necessary links required to get started with React. And with this, I'm hoping that it just gave you a brief idea that what actually is React Next and why to use React, because as you can see the graph over here, it's constantly keeping on rising, and most people are just going towards React and working on it. We just also saw a specific things like what are this file structure of this application, right? So what is the file structure being created when you create npx create react, and what are actually components. So in this case, if you are not clear, like to do input is one of the component, to do list is one of the component. So this is something similar to what we have seen over here, right? Yeah, so I think that's all with this session, and hope you have got the starting point for the React. Yeah, have a good day, guys. Bye.